Hello, hello. How are you guys? If you are jumping on live, wave hello. If you are catching the recording, whether you're watching it live or you watch it later, I just want to thank you so much and let you know how much I appreciate you guys watching these calls. And what excites me is that you guys are here because you care about your health. So that's great. Congratulations. That's the first step, is to care about your health. So my name is Karen Amundson. My husband and I run Oil Powered Pear, and you can catch these recordings on YouTube. So we download them all. They're there forever. So if you don't catch live on Instagram or wherever you're at, or you don't have time to watch the whole video, you can always go back to the recording and watch it there. And then at the end of this call, I will have a bit.ly form that is going to have all the information that I'm going to talk about today. So today is such a fun topic. I'm so excited about this one, and I'm so passionate about this one because of the change that this has made in our lives. So the topic is baby steps to eating right. So again, we're sticking with that theme of taking baby steps. It's small little changes over time that you're really going to see improvement, and you're going to notice a difference in your health. So even just working on these episodes and coming up with content, it's been so fun for me because I can look back to where we were and how we have grown because of the little baby steps and the changes that we've made. So I was just thinking today as I was eating lunch, you know, I want to celebrate change. Like, change is good. I love change. I think it's fun. I love trying new things, which a lot of times that is equivalent to change is when you're changing your food, you're trying new foods a lot of the times. And so that can be exciting. And we are created to love new things. So think about that as I talk about this, and even as I give my my steps, and I'll get to this, is in my steps about changing the foods. Just keep that in mind, okay, that we love new. So, all right, we're going to dive in today, and I'm going to just share with you guys steps that we've taken over the past 3 years to change the way that we eat. So our kitchen looks totally different. Our pantry looks totally different. If you guys caught the story on Instagram, I gave you guys a quick view of what our pantry looks like. It doesn't look like your typical American pantry. So I'm going to get into that. But we're going to talk about just what's the first step that you guys can take to making a healthy change in how you eat. And I want you guys to know that I am by no means perfect in this category, and this is something that we are still continuing to grow in, okay? So this is just some of the first steps that we took that helped us. So hopefully this will help you guys, okay? So number one, okay, I'm gonna read a quote first, and you guys have probably heard of this quote. It's very popular. But every time you either eat or drink, and I put drink in there because what we drink is very important. So what we eat or drink, you are either feeding disease or fighting disease, okay? So think about that when you are eating your food and what you're putting in your mouth. You're either feeding disease or fighting disease. Okay, so with doTERRA, you guys know that, most of you know that we are with doTERRA essential oils. And what I love about that company is that we are not just an essential oil company. We are a health and wellness company. So anytime I'm educating somebody, I always explain that. And what we do is we share with people what a healthy lifestyle looks like, okay? So here's a pyramid of what a healthy lifestyle looks like. And the goal is that we're growing in each of these categories. Nobody is perfect, okay? And this is a journey for all of us. But at the base, you have eating, where's my finger here? Eating right, okay? So eating right, which is what we're gonna talk about today. And then I'm gonna get to these other categories in our next episode. So you have eating right, exercise and weight management, rest and managing stress, and reducing toxic load, okay? So in my opinion, all of those categories equal self-care, okay? They all fall under self-care. And this is another quote that I like from Jim Rohn. It's, I will take care of me for you if you will take care of you for me. And so a lot of what has helped me want to become healthy is I want to be the best for my husband. I want to be the best for my kids, for my friends. In whatever I'm doing, I want to give my best. And how can I give my best and be my best if I'm feeding myself crappy, yucky food all day long that makes me feel yucky and bloated and doesn't give me energy? What if I'm not getting enough sleep at night? Okay, that can wreak havoc on your body. And I know that personally, so I will talk about that down the road. But it was horrible, and it is horrible when you don't get good sleep at night. And you know that. I'm sure we've all dealt with having bad nights of sleep, and then the next day you're dragging, or you're irritable, you're more stressed, okay? So all of these categories are self-care. All right, so now we're gonna talk about the first step, okay? We started watching documentaries. So when I think back to 3 years ago, and when we got started with doTERRA, which was the vehicle for us in transforming our lives in so many different categories, okay? So we started watching documentaries, because the more that you know, the more you're going to be convicted to make healthy choices. So here are some of the documentaries that we watched that you guys can still look up. And again, you don't have to take notes. I have all of this on a form for you guys at the end. So Fed Up. I don't know if you guys have heard of that one or seen that one, but that talks a lot about the sugar, the added sugar that is in today's diet and is in today's grocery store. And I'm going to tell you how much added sugar are in products in just a second. In defense of food. This is one that I've been recently watching, and I sit, guys, and I take notes, okay? So that I'm hearing it. I'm a very visual person, so if I'm writing it down, I can go back and I can see, you know, and remember what I've learned. Forks Over Knives, Food Inc., Rotten, and The Bleeding Edge. Now, those are just a few that off the top of my head I could think of that we love, that were very impactful. And once we started watching those, then I would go grocery shopping and I would be like, oh, I need to look at the sugar and how much sugar is in this yogurt, okay? So that brings me to step number 2. Reduce sugar, okay? So there are so many diets out there. There's so many opinions. Mine is one opinion that you guys are listening to, okay? So you could do the South Beach diet, you could be paleo, you could be gluten-free, you could be vegan. So there's a ton of information and a ton of opinions out there. But the one thing that most experts and doctors will agree upon is that refined sugar is horrible for your body. It's horrible, okay? That feeds disease. So we started on this journey of reducing sugar in our home. There is 74% added sugar hiding in packaged foods. 74%. That is huge, okay? So where are your packaged foods normally found? In the center of the grocery store. So one thing that you can start doing, check your labels, start reading sugar because they're hidden in foods that you think are healthy, like yogurt, you guys. Look at some of the yogurts. It's astonishing how much sugar is in there. Granola bars, your applesauce, okay? So you can look at one applesauce and it can have like 7 grams of sugar, and you can look at another applesauce and it can have 20 grams of sugar. So guys, it's very easy to make a good choice and take one little baby step there and getting something that has less sugar. Your jams and your jellies, okay? So I know exactly what jelly to get because it's the one with the least amount of sugar. So start checking your labels, okay? Expert panels worldwide have made consistent recommendations on daily sugar intake. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 6 teaspoons, that's 25 grams, of added sugar per day for women and 9 teaspoons for men, okay? So keep that in mind, and how you figure out how many teaspoons is you divide the grams of sugar by 4, okay? So I'm gonna show you an example of that in just a second. But one thing that you can do to help with cravings, if you guys are getting cravings of sugar, which this will go away over time. So the more sugar you're eating, it's like cocaine, okay? It is addictive. The more you're going to crave it, okay? The less you eat it and the more you start to reduce it, the less you're going to crave it. And I know that to be true because that's what has happened in my life, okay? So you can also put Slim and Sassy, that's an essential oil that doTERRA has. You can put a tip of that on your tongue, and I drink it in my water throughout the day. That can help reduce cravings. And then this was interesting, so I looked this up. If you're addicted to sugar, if you diffuse Purify or Serenity, so Purify is our cleansing blend, Serenity is our calming blend, that can help aid in taking away that addiction, okay? So step number 3 to eating right is drink more water, okay? So when you start drinking more water, so if you start eating more of something, it only makes logical sense that you're going to start drinking less of something. Well, what do we want to drink less of that's loaded with sugar? Soda, and juice, juice, juice. And sometimes juice has more sugar than soda, especially orange juice. So you guys, check the labels, okay? I dare you, okay? I want you to go out there the next time you grocery shop and start looking at everything and look at all the sugar. Now, this is probably going to blow your mind because this totally blew my mind. If you're wondering about our kids and if they, you know, ever get to have treats and sweets, yes, they do. And they still get way too much. So even though we've reduced it drastically in our home, which our kids complain about all the time, they are still getting it from other places, and they're getting a lot of it. And in my opinion, still too much of it. So the other day, Chloe went to a basketball game and she came home with this Fanta orange soda. I bet you would not be able to guess how much sugar is in here, okay? So I just want you to think, guess how much sugar you think might be in here. $62 grams. 62 grams. I'm going to show you this, okay? Right there. 62. So that equals 16 teaspoons. 16. Is this blowing your mind yet? Because it's blowing mine, even just saying it back to you. Okay, so I measured out 16 teaspoons so we can get a visual of this, all right? This is how much it is. It is just over 1/4 of a cup. So one soda, my daughter, and anybody else who drinks soda ingested that much sugar from that one bottle, okay? Now think if you're drinking 2 or 3 or 4 cans of soda or bottles of soda, or you go through McDonald's and you get the fountain soda and then you're adding juice on top of it. Think of how much sugar you are eating every day. So I don't want this call to be about sugar. That's a whole other entire call that my husband is going to do. It's a very important one, but just recognizing how much sugar is in our food is a crucial step to taking a baby step in eating right, okay? That's gonna make a huge, huge difference in your diet, in your health, in how you feel, in what's gonna happen down the road, so on and so forth. So, so when you eliminate your soda and your juice, you're gonna automatically start drinking more water and add essential oils to your water because it helps it taste good. It's helping your metabolism. It's supporting your liver. It does a gentle detox as you're drinking all throughout the day, okay? So now the next step is start replacing some of the food that you are eating, okay? So for me, I was addicted to having 2 chocolate chip cookies every night before bed. Like that was my thing. I love chocolate chip cookies. They are my favorite dessert by far of anything. Cheesecake is like the very, next second there. I love chocolate chip cookies and I love them when they come out of the oven warm. And I would have that with a glass of milk every night, okay? So that was a habit of mine. That was a ritual. So I've talked about rituals in the past in some of these past episodes. So I started to replace my chocolate chip cookies with dark chocolate. Okay, so dark chocolate has some health benefits to it and it has a whole lot less sugar. And then I would eat like 1 square of chocolate and that's all I needed. And sometimes I don't even need that at night anymore because I'm not getting the cravings that I used to get, okay? So figure out things that you can replace. Another thing I started doing is I would drink lattes every day. I would make cold brew with my, toddy, and add my milk to that and add honey to that. And that was every afternoon. And again, that was another ritual, another habit. I felt like, oh, I needed it. It's in the afternoon. This is what I do. I need this so that I feel good for the rest of the day. And it was just a total mind thing. Not it made my body feel good because it wasn't doing anything for my body, okay? So I switched, and now I drink smoothies, or I drink chaga tea, which I make in my crock pot, and then I can reheat that. So I've learned to switch to different drinks that are healthy. Okay, I stopped drinking my coffee with half and half in the morning. So one thing that everyone needs to do is just be aware of your own body, because not everybody's going to be the same. So gluten-free, for example, we hear that everyone is becoming gluten-free. We are not 100% gluten-free, but I am trying to reduce it because I notice in my body I feel better. Okay, so if you don't have a problem with it at all, it's probably not a big deal. But just be sensitive to what you are sensitive to and what you aren't sensitive to. Dairy, that was another thing that I was having digestive issues. My go-to in the morning used to be coffee and half, and I would not live without that. It had to be the first thing to my morning. And so again, after learning and seeing what other people are doing, and just following people that I look up to and that I know have a healthy lifestyle, you get ideas, and then you can start to try them and implement them. So bulletproof coffee was one thing that I switched over to, and I feel so much better drinking that, okay? So when I switch back and I start adding half and half or dairy, I notice I have problems. So again, be sensitive and aware of your body and what maybe causes problems or what doesn't cause problems. All right. So the other step, we're on step number 5 now, is we stopped buying a lot of processed food. So we started shopping the perimeter of the grocery store. And like I said, we don't have your typical pantry. So I don't have boxes of granola bars and bags of chips and all these crackers. Now I used to have special containers that I would get all this, processed food, all of my cereal, and dump it in all my containers so they were nicely organized. And we do not have that now. Now that doesn't mean we don't ever eat processed food. We do. We just limit how much we eat, okay? So, all right, I have a quote here that I want to read from In Defense of Food. And I love this, okay? He said there's a guy that is the one who wrote In Defense of Food. And he said, healthy eating can be summed up in 7 words. Eat food, not too much, and mostly plants. So I have it right here. It's in this nice little circle. Eat food, not too much, and mostly plants. Now, food, we're talking about real food. Your meat, your fish, your veggies, your fruit, your grains, okay? So the Western diet is in the center of the aisles. The produce section, if you notice, will have no health claims. where if you are shopping in the center of the grocery store, you're going to see all these health claims, such as whole grain goodness, and it's going to save you from a heart attack. Okay, so look, the next time you're in the grocery store, look at all the health claims that are out there on your processed foods. Then go back to your produce section, okay? And when you're in the produce section, you'll notice that they don't talk like that over there in the apples and broccoli section, okay? So this is my favorite line, and this is my husband's favorite line too, is not this one. Why is that? Why don't the produce and your fruits and vegetables talk back to you? Well, there's no packages and there's no big budgets. But here's the line that we love. The quieter the food, the more likely, the healthier the food. Okay, so marinate on that. And think about that the next time that you are grocery shopping, and just be aware now and start paying attention, okay? So next, number 7. The other thing that helped was I started using a planning my meals app. So a meal planning app, and it's called Plan to Eat. Now, the reason why this helped me, a couple reasons, is I followed somebody that I know, Aunt Peters from Whole Fit, that has a ton of amazing, healthy recipes, okay? So start following people that you look up to, that you know live a healthy lifestyle, that eat right. You could go to Plan to Eat and you can friend me and get all the recipes that I have on there. And now I've added a ton more as well, where you can get them from the website, and you can just copy and add it right to your meal planner. And then you basically drag and drop what meals you want to plan for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, a month at a time, it doesn't matter. So that was incredibly helpful. And then the other thing is when you make a grocery list, you typically stick to that list and you can buy your healthy foods. And a lot of times you don't buy the unhealthy foods. You stick to your list, right? So then you bring these healthy foods home, and what's out of sight is out of mind. So if you don't have all the donuts, all the cookies, all the ice cream bars, and you name it, the crackers, the Cheetos, you're not gonna really necessarily want that. You're going to eat something else because you don't have it and it's not there, okay? So that was huge, and especially for having kids, because if you want something and you don't have it, then the answer is no. You have to eat grapes, or you have to eat carrots, or here's this option, or here's that option, but it's a healthy option, okay? Instead of them just raiding the pantry and getting all the unhealthy options. All right, so the other tip or step is food prep. And I just thought of this one today and came over here and put this one in my notes, because I was like, you know what? It makes a difference when you don't prep your food, because today for lunch, I didn't eat as healthy as I would have normally ate for lunch. I made a sun-dried tomato grilled cheese sandwich. Now, typically, I used to eat sandwiches every day for lunch. So that's another thing that I switched, is I eat a lot of smoothies, salads, quinoa, or leftovers. But I don't have a lot of food prepared right now. We need to go grocery shopping. I have a whole chicken in the crock pot, so we're gonna have that tonight. I'm gonna have my bone broth. I can make chicken noodle soup tomorrow. So I have a couple things that I can make, but I need to replenish my refrigerator and restock it with food that I've already prepped. Because remember, we are a people who love convenience. So if it's easy to grab, you're going to eat it. So if I have healthy salads prepared and smoothies already, we always have bananas broken up in the freezer so that it's so easy to make a smoothie. Quinoa and salads, I love like Mediterranean salads. So this is where you can have fun with your meal planning and plan new recipes. Now, one thing that I tried a while back ago is cashew cheese. I've never heard of it. I've never made it. I've never tried it. And there was a recipe there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. And it was incredible. It was so delicious. So again, have fun with trying new foods, and you're going to surprise yourself with what you like and what you really start to crave and love, okay? All right. So here are some new foods that you can put on your list to try. Collagen. Now, this is something that I just recently ordered from Walmart. It's a new one for me. That's not one that has been in my smoothie drawer, but I've been wanting it for a while. So I am still on this journey of trying new foods, and I hope I will be forever. And hopefully that can expand into traveling and going to different countries and trying all sorts of new food. Quinoa, smoothies, flaxseed, hemp seeds, cacao, lentils, cashew cheese, which I talked about, juicing. So I periodically we went and got a juicer from our it's like our Goodwill store, and it's $100 juicer, and I think I paid $13 for it. So go to your Goodwill stores and look for some of these kitchen appliances that can help you cook healthier, like the Instapot, which I still need to get, a steam rice steamer. That's what I want to get, a rice and vegetable steamer. So I still have things on my list. An air fryer, like that's another new fun thing that I want to get. So go check your stores out for that. All right. And then one thing that I want to show you guys that I did is I had talked about start following people that you look up to that are nutritionists, start listening to podcasts, start watching YouTube videos, start watching your documentaries. But there's a lady that I follow, her name is Chelsea Ammer, and she is a nutritionist. And she gave away a free Stock Your Pantry list. And so I printed this out, and again, I'm gonna have this attached to the bit.ly form, okay, so you guys can get this. But I go on here and I try new foods that I haven't tried, and eventually I'll get all of this, and now I'm to the point where I'm even reordering some of the stuff that I tried and I love. For example, veggie noodles, okay? I had no idea that that even existed, and it was on here. And so I lately have been shopping at Walmart, their online grocery store. Now, I can't actually get cold foods delivered to me. Mine has to be all like pantry items because of where we live. So if you're in a place where you can get your actual groceries delivered to you, that is so awesome. And I would totally recommend doing that, because then when you're shopping, you're not tempted to get things that are unhealthy, and you can just, say, hey, I'm going to try this tuna. It's Wild Planet tuna. And you put it in your cart and it comes to your door, and now you basically probably will want to eat that because you spent the money on that. So yeah, this is Wacky Mac. Okay, so this is my second time ordering this. When I first ordered this, it comes in a pack of 4. And it was just the best pricing. It might have been the only way that I could get that. But I'm like, oh my goodness, am I going to go through 4 packs? And yes, we did in probably about 2 weeks because we fell in love with it, and it just goes with so many different meals. And then, like I said, we do have some processed food, but we go for the healthy route. Okay, so this is Vans gluten-free fire roasted veggie chips. I love these, and I'll make guacamole most likely, or the cashew cheese, or homemade salsa. And then the other one are these cashew crackers here. Okay, so Walmart, I am so impressed with Walmart and the variety of healthy foods that they have. So almost everything on here Walmart has, okay? So there's that. And then, let's see, I think I'm almost done. The only other thing I want to mention about watching documentaries, following nutritionists, you can also get some books to read. And I am reading this one. It starts with food. So this is from Whole30, which is the elimination diet that a lot of you have probably heard of. And I know it has the word diet in there, but the idea is that you eat food, or you don't eat certain foods for 30 days, and you see what your body is sensitive to or what it doesn't like. So one thing that I learned in this book is a new word that's called satiate, okay? And I didn't highlight it. I should have highlighted it. But basically, if I can remember correctly what it means. So satiatious food is food that your body loves and gets the nutrients from, that then makes you feel satisfied, okay? So food that makes you feel satisfied. So that's fun. I love learning new things. So go to the library and get new cookbooks, new books, magazines, like whatever floats your boat. Find something to get you excited. And then I'm just going to wrap up with one last thing. The other thing that I do to make sure, because I know myself, and I know I do not eat 8 servings, this size, fistful size of fruits and vegetables every day, which is what our body needs, okay, to get all the nutrients to thrive and to have energy and to be healthy. I know I don't get that every single day. I don't even get it like hardly at all. So know thyself, right? And what I do is I take supplements because that's my insurance policy, that I'm giving my body the base nutrients that it needs. So I take whole food, vitamins and supplements just to make sure that I have that. All right. Now I'm going to wrap up with the 80-20 rule. Okay. So remember, 80% of the time, you want to be eating healthy foods that satisfy, that have nutrients, and 20% are like your birthday parties that you go to, or maybe on the weekend. So eventually that number might even go up. I think, 2-3 years ago, I was maybe at a 50-50, right? And then eventually it was 60-40, and then 70-30, and then 80-20. And right now I might be at like a 90-10, like 90% of the time I eat healthy. So just work on getting that number up, and overall you want to be at the 80-20, okay? So the food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine, or the slowest form of poison. And I have one more quote, and I think this is pretty funny, and I think it's very true. eat crap, feel like crap, eat nothing, feel like doing nothing, eat well, feel well. And that is absolutely true in my life. So hopefully you guys got some tips here, and this call is going to take you one baby step or two baby steps closer to eating a healthier diet, and eventually it will transform your life. So again, when I look back at the past 2 or 3 years, I'm so happy with where we are today and all the little changes that we've made. And it might feel slow at first. I know, like, we're the type, most people, they want change to happen immediately, and they want to see results immediately. And you need to be patient, and eventually 2 or 3 years are gonna, pass by, and you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I've grown so much. So that is my hope and prayer for you guys. I hope that this helped you and you got some tips from this. And I will put the link in the comments on Facebook, Oil Powered Pear Facebook page, and also on our YouTube channel. All right, everyone, have a great rest of the week. Bye.